Hey everyone! Hey everyone! So weird to do that.
L.Shima here, obviously.
L.Shima here, and welcome
Welcome everyone
to Be Cool.
Be cool.
Be cool. If you do not know who I am, then you need to Google me right now. It is another fabulous episode. Today's a very special day. It is a fabulous, fabulous Wednesday. Wednesday's always kind of a good day. Yay! Awesome! Man, my voice just squeaked like crazy.
Awesome. Fuck yeah.
Pencils down. Let the show begin. Hey, folks. I feel like I'm programmed to say everyone, but I'm trying my hardest to actually change it up. Realistically, no, I'm not even trying that hard. I just typically don't even prepare at all into the last second. I was on Reddit, my daily talk about Reddit, but I was on Reddit 5 minutes before I had to start, and I realized, oh snap, it's already 9:58 Eastern time right now. So I might as, I should probably be getting all this stuff set up. I mean, I have my video and all that fun stuff organized, but I need to get the audio and make sure that I'm on a countdown to post the audio at a good time, blah 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 blah, things that don't matter. But yes, so welcome everyone. Should probably turn my phone on vibrate. Today is Wednesday. Just looked at my phone. December 3rd, 2014. We are in episode 20. Yay, this is a big deal because like I mentioned to y'all on Twitter, and then I just posted everything on my other social sites just showing that I'm live right now, that I actually have a big announcement. But unfortunately for y'all, the ones that are on at this second, I'm not gonna give that big announcement away just yet. I feel like we should wait, let it calm down a little bit before we go into this big huge, thing that I'm about to talk about. But yeah, so I'm gonna put that on side, put on hold for a second. And I basically today was very interesting. It wasn't as interesting as last episode when I had a crazy, embarrassing moment that I probably should not have shared to y'all, but I did anyways, because, I trust y'all will keep secrets. Not that it's a secret, it's just super embarrassing. But, anyways, today was very interesting in the fact that. So, we have this neighbor, and honestly, I think she's nice. There goes Akira. My roommate and Francis are about to take her on an epic walk, what they always do every Wednesdays. But yeah, basically, she's actually, in my opinion, a sweet lady. We actually started to get to know her a little bit because Francis went door to door in our neighborhood looking for reference models for this book that he's illustrating. And so he went over to her house and kind of introduced himself. I wasn't there. I was at home doing what I needed to do best, work. But he was over there and ended up talking to her a little bit and just getting to know her, I guess, and just letting her know what this project is that he's doing and all this other stuff. And somehow he mentions me in the entire conversation. And he also mentions that I model. So she was like, oh, really? I need to meet her, all this other stuff. She really wanted to talk to me about something. So it took a few months to finally actually, me personally, sit down and talk to her. And the idea that she had was for me to basically talk about my modeling experience to these high school students that she does an after school program with. I didn't see any harm in it. I thought it actually might be nice, to do so. This was before I started the podcast and everything like that. This was during the time though I had ideas for it and everything along those lines. But I'm like, there's no harm in it. It actually gives me a chance to teach people and to understand how it is like to teach others, especially in something that I feel like I know pretty damn well. But yeah, so I didn't see any harm in it, so I decided, yeah, let's, give it a shot. But as she's sitting there, and I'm in her house. She's literally next door. She's on this side of my house. But as I'm sitting in her living room, she then talks about, religion and believing in prayer and why me and Francis aren't married and we're living together and all that other stuff. So I was in that when she started bringing that up, I'm like, all right, yeah, I wasn't here to talk about that. Like, that's awesome that, you're being nice and everything like that and you wanting to, get to know me and have me be part of the high school after school program, but let's not go there with other things that like such as religion that I really don't want to get into with somebody I barely even know. Because again, I just met this lady few days before this all happened. But yeah, so I end up actually doing the entire episode. I'm sorry, I'm like doing multitasking. Obviously, I can't do it at the same time. Because for whatever reason, my chat was not showing other people on my chat. It was just showing me. So I'm like, this can't be right. There has to be somebody on here other than myself. So, okay, now the chat's working. Sorry, that was a second episode. But yeah, so, okay, so finally I went and I set up basically like a little pamphlet of the guidelines of what I've thought were good topics to break down modeling. And so I talked to her, and after talking to Francis, because he's been teaching countless times in the past, I decided that it would be best to break it into two different days, and each of them had to been 1 hour long. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, the first day I'll just basically introduce myself, let these girls, because they're all girls, let these girls know who I am. Why am I the one, standing in front of them talking about modeling? I'll show them my portfolio. Obviously, I had to show them the G-rated photos, and then tell them, kind of just whatever I felt was important to me at that second kind of situation. So I did, and it was very interesting because some of the girls, like, I don't know, they didn't seem like they were truly there with me. Like, they were just going out one ear, out the other kind of situation. But I gave it my all. And the second day, I decided, okay, I'll have the pamphlet or the little booklet. It's like 2 pages stapled together. Of the guidelines of topics that I feel is important to know as a person starting out with modeling. And kind of topics that I've already kind of mentioned through these episodes. So, but obviously it's in 1 hour and I have to like go through all of it as quickly as possible. So, I did that for her. Again, the girls didn't seem like they cared too much. And I told them honestly, like, hey, just email me if you have any questions. Like, seriously, go for it. I'm here, always on the computer. Seriously, if you want to talk about anything, I'm always open for it. So, past months later after that, don't really actually talk to her other than that last time. And then we'll see her outside and we'll say hi and things like that. But otherwise, we never really like talked after that. And then she, I guess, has been having car issues. So she few times actually asked me and Francis for some rides. And there was a point where I was actually out of town and he decided to ask Andy, our roommate, if he could, help take her somewhere and all this other stuff. So she's been very sweet and everything like that, but she's also been kind of from our outsider bystanding looks, like how me and Francis perceive her, and as well as I guess Andy as well. We kind of feel like she's needy. And I get it. If your car is like something's wrong with your car, like obviously, me and Francis are so sweet. Like if you need help, we will try to help you in the best way we can. If Andy is having car issues. He's had car issues when he first moved in and then he got his car fixed and then now his car's back to being not workable. We'll offer like assistance if need be because we hope if we have that issue or something like that, we can go and ask help from others. Like, give a little, obviously. So, I'm not complaining. Not like that's the opposite of me whatsoever. But so Yeah, she'll ask a couple rides here and there, and she'd also pay for gas, but like she'd be, basically pay the bare minimum for gas. So she's not like, I drive her to the high school, which is only a 5-10 minute drive, and she fills my tank. She just basically gives me like a gallon of gas, like $3 or whatever the cost of gas is. And so I've never complained about it whatsoever. And so today, Frances actually got a phone call from her, and she actually called me and texted me before she called Frances. But my phone is rarely ever on my me. That's the joke with Frances. Like I'm apparently the hardest person to get a hold of. It's just I'll leave my phone somewhere in the house and I'll go do something else and forget all about it. But she calls him and he answers, and automatically I knew what she was probably doing. She was asking for a ride, and so she needed a ride to get to a U-Haul, which was fine. I figured. I mean, Francis in his head was like, well, we've already given her a lot of rides this year. Like, I mean, we don't want to be used as well. Like, you have that borderline of how much you're willing to help to the point where how much this person's actually just trying to use you. So in my head, I'm like, well, it sounds innocent. Like, I mean, she's given me gas money every time I've taken her somewhere, so I feel like it's not that big of a deal. So he, says, yeah, that's fine. She gave like a rough, time frame of when she needed it by. So we were right at lunch, and he had to get to the studio, and then I didn't really. I had a few things to do on the computer, but he ended up just, saying, "I'll just take her. It's fine, whatever." So he goes and takes her, and calls me and says, "So yeah, she's an older lady. She's probably like in her 50s, 60s or so, and she has two kids who are both like old enough, like in their 30s, and I guess both of them, I know definitely one of them lives at home, but I feel like the other one may or may not. But yeah, so she calls me and tells me, hey, our neighbor is basically getting evicted. Like they need to move out tonight and they need to leave by tomorrow. So I'm in my head, I'm like, that's crazy. Okay, well, so what's going on? You're calling me for a reason, so there has to be some like situation that you want to discuss about further than you just taking her to the U-Haul. And he starts saying that she wants to, needed him to take her to the U-Haul to get the truck and as well as go to the storage of some sort somewhere in Sarasota to storage to get all that thing set up, and that she is basically dropping hints, or I think she even said to him, not really a hint, but basically said, yeah, I'm not sure where we're going to stay after tonight because they're allowed to stay in the house for tonight, but then after that they need to leave. So in my head I'm like, that's pretty tough. Yeah, that seriously is. If I was in that situation where I'm stuck in a car with somebody and they're telling me this, I automatically be like, yeah, you could stay at my house. So I was like, Francis, honestly, I mean, if you feel like the best decision is for them to stay at our house, like we don't have a bed, but we have like an all upstairs is like completely carpeted and there's nothing except for Francis's computer, and it's huge. It's like literally the length of our house pretty much. And as well as right here I have a couch. We have a couch in the living room. Like I mean, it's not the most glamorous spots to sleep, but we have opportunities where you can. So I'm like, hey, seriously, if you feel like, they really need a helping hand and, she's sincere about it, I have no issues whatsoever. I mean, the only issue I have is with Akira for the fact that she's crazy. A lot of y'all don't believe me, but she is crazy. She likes to jump on people, so that's an issue that we need to fix. It's really annoying. But especially when it comes to older, people and kids, jumping dogs that are 73 pounds is not really a good thing. And on top of it, she likes to bark now. So, and her barking and her whining is like blood gushing out of your ears, painful. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. And so I'm like, if they're fine with Akira and how she is, hey, if they are willing to do that, that's totally on them. So that was the last phone conversation that I had with him. until he calls me a few minutes later saying that, hey, he's pretty much not going to work today. He's just going to, he offered to help them at least pack some stuff into the U-Haul. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I have an hour until I have to cook dinner. And then after that, like, as soon as I'm done with dinner, I have to get ready for this. So I'm like, I'll help as much as I can. So Francis gets an important call, which I'll talk about later. And then so funny. But and then yeah, we decided, okay, we'll go over. And so they already kind of was starting to help themselves, they're packing and things. So they had their garage open. And I give them props though. They have like, those huge plastic tubs, containers and stuff. They had a lot of that. I'm like, wow, that's pretty organized. Like, I don't know if there's just random just shit in there, but just having that many containers, the plastic nice containers compared to cardboard boxes, I'm like, that's pretty organized. To the point though, we're in this garage. I don't know how long they've been living in this house. I know they've been renting it, but I don't know how long. So I look to my left and I see like two good sized shelves, and she asks me to tape these little small containers filled with shoes, and they're each individually filled with only one pair of shoe. And so I'm looking at this and I'm like, this literally is probably about 50 different pairs of shoes in the garage. And seriously, I'm like, and you have to move tonight? There's no way. Like, you want me to tape all of these little boxes with 50 individual shoes in this garage that are dusty and dirty, like nobody has touched them in centuries. I'm like, seriously, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna do it, but I don't seriously know how this is gonna work. Honestly, from my point of view, I would throw everything away. Everything that does not matter, things that I can buy at a different time in life, I would throw away. I mean, seriously, I cannot, like, especially if I'm on a time limit where I need to leave in the night. I just can't see why you would stick with everything in the house. Like, it just blew my mind. So I tried helping, and I was in just this horrible state of mind because I hate touching things that are dirty, like, that I don't know like, why it's dirty, like, other than it's been sitting there. Like, I'm scared of, like, cockroaches coming out of me, or coming out of me, coming at me, or, something like a spider or something. So I'm touching these dusty, like, they've been sitting there for years type containers, and I'm like, God, this is horrible. So finally, the hour, oh no, okay, sorry, I'm getting like sidetracked. But okay, so I got done with, or I didn't really get done, but she needed to get more duct tape, and she wanted to go to Ace Hardware. So she wanted a ride from either Francis or I. So I mean, again, I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I mean, I'm stuck here anyways. I mean, might as well just give her a ride again. And it technically may be the last one that I will ever give her, so it's not that huge of a deal. So I turn the car and then I realize we are super low on gas, like super low. And she's telling me Ace is like a good distance away from where we live. So I'm like, all right, well, hopefully I can make it, to where this Ace Hardware store is. And on top of it, I hopefully will make it to what errands I have tomorrow with this gas, because me and Francis just paid all our bills. So we're not like, financially like rolling in dough pretty much. But I'm like, whatever. I'll make it work somehow. We always make it work in the end. So, but I'm in my mind, I'm like getting so worried. And so finally we drove there. I called one of my cards to see exactly how much money I had in it, and luckily I had $3.94 in it. I'm like, bam, that's enough to get a gallon of gas and to get me to where I need to get to for today and for tomorrow. After tomorrow, that's another story that I will eventually figure out, but at least I know where I stand as far as that. So Ace Hardware closed at 7. We got there literally at 7:03. So she saw a lady that worked there at the window, and so she was like, "Oh, let me just go check to see if they will let me in." So thank God on them, they allowed her to go in, because I did not just drive all the way there for nothing. So she went in, got the tape, spent about like felt like forever at the cash register. I don't know why. But anyways, she eventually came in. Not a huge story after that. But we started driving and I told her, hey, I'm just gonna go get gas real fast. I'm gonna get it off 301, which is not, a street that's really near our house. And so I parked the car, and as I'm doing that and getting my card out, she's digging. She's like, yeah, I'll give you some cash and stuff like that. And so I thought that was nice to, at least chip in something since Frances drove her earlier today and I drove her to the Ace. But then oh God, she pulls out a 5 and she gives me the 5. And I had a card, so I mean, I wasn't planning on going to the inside the store, but it wouldn't take debit on the actual pump itself, so I had to. But anyways, she hands me a 5, and as she's doing so, she's like, yeah, so you know. Here's a 5. This is all I have, but it's good for your gas. And I'm like, I take it and I say thanks, and I'm like, oh man, you played the pity role. Like you played the card on me. Like I'm like, should I take this $5? Like now I feel like I shouldn't, cause you just said it's like the only dollar you have, and like I feel bad now. So now I feel bad for even spending it. And I didn't even, so honestly, I didn't spend it at all. I went to the cash register, and in my head, the entire time I'm playing, I'm like, I really don't know if I should spend it. She said it's for the gas, which it would be nice if I could spend this $5. But then she told me out of like the sad card where, oh, it's the only dollar I have. So I'm like, okay, fine. Look, I'm not gonna spend it. I'll let Frances decide that. So I only spent $3.50 for gas, which was enough for a gallon of gas. And I took the $5 and just kind of pretend like I spent it, but not really, because I was debating if I should keep it or not. So, finally dropped her off, and I went inside, started cooking dinner. Francis came in, and I told him about the $5. He didn't say anything, but he's like, okay, well, I want to figure out if we're going to have them stay over our house for a few days, because what he originally told me on the phone was he was thinking maybe for a couple of days, like until Monday or something. And I'm like, yeah, that shouldn't be a huge deal. Again, as if they're fine with Akira, then it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But we wanted to talk to Andy, our roommate, before we decided anything, because we wanted to make sure all three of us were on the same page and totally for it, because it's not only her, but it's going to be her older son who's in his 30s, and her daughter as well, who's probably in her 30s as well. And I think there was like one more other person that would be staying. So it's like 3 to 4 people in our house. And we only have this couch, the couch in the living room, and then completely nothing upstairs. So, Andy doesn't really even never have talked to our neighbors at all. Francis only talked to our neighbors here and there. He actually talks to our neighbors on that side a lot more than he talks to her on this side. And then I've only helped her with the after school program, as well as give her a few rides here and there. So we weren't ever on like a best friend level. We weren't even really on a friend level. We're more just a friendly neighbor acquaintance that we have no issue saying hi and stuff. And maybe if she asks for rides, we'll offer it if we have enough gas money or things like that. So all three of us really didn't know what was the best way to handle this situation. Because deep down inside, you're like, well, we should offer as much as we can, because one, you imagine yourself in that situation and what would you want, and as well as, karma. Basically, you want to do right things. You don't want to be like leaving somebody stranded and things like that. You want to help the needy. But Frances was the one that got more of the lowdown of exactly what's going on. She didn't tell me, and obviously she didn't tell Andy. So Frances explained to us that she needed to evacuate the house by tonight and leave by tomorrow. And apparently it's 4 people, and also that they've been knowing about this evacuation for a month, which I thought, it was not funny, But it's very ironic because there was, like, I guess it was a month ago, I was sitting in our driveway in the car waiting for Francis for whatever reason. But I ended up seeing this car drive right up against their house, and this husband and wife walked up to their driveway, got a piece of paper, posted it on their garage, and then took a few pictures of it and then left eventually. And in my head I'm like, what's going on there? Like, all right, I mean, so I have clips in my hair. There's like serves no purpose, but I'm like, that's interesting. I mean, maybe they're getting evicted, but I'm not gonna ask questions. Obviously, I'm not gonna be that nosy neighbor. And then I completely forgot about it until today. So I'm like, oh, that's funny. I witnessed them getting evacuated. But it's not funny. But so yeah, so they've been knowing it's 4 months, 4 people, 1 month, and they need to get out by tonight. And on top of it, she's highly religious. I mean, she believes in prayer. So in my head, I'm like, and all three of our heads actually, and Andy was more of the stating kind of the hidden obvious. Like he mentioned, it's 4 people that need, have nowhere to stay after tonight. You would imagine one of those people has friends, has acquaintances, family members that can help them out. One of those 4 people probably has a chance of that. And then on top of it, Frances did ask, though, our neighbor, about her family, and she said that, she has some in Miami and Orlando, which are both a good distance away, and she doesn't have a car. So, all right, that's one weird like instance. On top of it, she's a very church lady, so in my head, I'm like, and Francis grew up in a Catholic household and stuff like that. So we all were like, and also you would imagine if you're part of a church, that's not really like the main purpose of a church, but especially like it's a community. They're willing to help you when you need it, especially if you come to them and ask it, and you're all dedicated with them and things like that. Like you would think the church would help them in some type of way. I maybe not, but in my head I'm thinking that would be the case. And then on top of it, they've known for a month. Apparently, according to Frances, she said that they had until after Thanksgiving. So I guess maybe they didn't know an exact day, but in my head I'm like, a month? You would seriously think in a month's time that you would plan everything. You would contact your family, your friends, your, people of whatever, whatever, whatever. No, you didn't miss the big announcement. I'm saving it towards after this story. But yeah, seriously, you would think that that would be a reason why, like, you could find a way to figure it out and not wait the last freaking second. Like if it was me and I knew I would have to be moved out in a month's time, I would seriously be already planning like way ahead in advance, like figuring this stuff out, like already packing the small things and things like that. So it just blew my mind. I'm curious with y'all's opinions. What would you do in that situation? If you would house them or not house them, or what, like would you spend the $5 for gas or what? But seriously, like we ended up, and Francis even called his parents because he wanted another person, from, an outsider's point of view behind the situation, and so we all just decided, it'd be best just not to house them because we felt like they had more than enough time and they should have, figured it out for themselves. I mean, Francis and I helped them move as much as we can with the amount of time we had, as well as we gave her rides. So we've helped as best as we can. I mean, I guess the best we could do is give them partial of the house, but on top of it, Andy has to work long hours tomorrow, and he has to also work on like Saturday and Friday, I think, or something like that. I don't know his work schedule. Francis needs to get his ass in the studio so he can finish his project and before my big announcement. But also, on top of it, I have things to do all the way up until Tuesday, so I don't really have a free day at all. So typically, if they were going to actually stay here, I would prefer them to not be here when we're all three not here because that's just, I don't want 4 people that I barely even know hanging out in my house without me or Francis or Andy here. Doesn't matter who you are. I mean, I've couch surfed countless times, and I feel like that's proper etiquette when it's you know, when it's said against, for the rules and stuff of a household. So when I go and stay at somebody's house for free and they tell me, hey, when I'm not here, you need to leave, I'm like, that's perfectly fine. I can find things to do. I go to a cafe, or I'll go just sit on a park bench and wait until like 5 hours go by. If I ain't got nothing planned, I will make sure though that like I am literally listening to your rules. So seriously though, that's my thoughts. I'm curious though, of y'all's thoughts behind charities, like helping people out. How often do you help people out? If you do, like seriously, give me some like talks. I know there's a lot of y'all right now. This is shocking to me. I think it's just because of the big announcement. Y'all are like thinking it's gonna be something crazy. It is crazy for me. Hopefully it's crazy for y'all, but this is the most actually I've seen people live, so this is awesome. So welcome everyone that's never been here before. Hopefully you're enjoying, like, yay. Let me read what all of y'all are saying because I cannot do two things at once when it comes to talking and reading at the same time. That's physically, mentally impossible for me. And then after that, I will say the big announcement so y'all can, finally not be waiting too long. Techman, I missed you, Shima. I know you missed me. I so did. I'm sorry, I swear I still love you and there's no one else. That's too funny. That was hilarious, Tagman. Seriously, that's not a joke. Alejandro, hello. Ustreamer33061, where are we at? What? Totally. Hello. I think you were asking questions towards my story. So where are we at? The storyline is based in Sarasota, Florida. How low of gas I was, literally low. Like the sign came on, low gas. I was not all the way red, but I was like this far. So like a good amount. And Ace is the place. It's actually now, like, at least in Sarasota, it's not called Ace Hardware. It's only called Ace Hardware on the sign to let you know that Ace is right there. But on the actual sign itself on the building, it's called DG Hardware. I don't know why. So if you know why, if they like got bought out, but they're still keeping the Ace name, let me know because that confused me for a few days, actually, honestly. Um, yeah, chicken wings surprise party. Chicken wings surprise party. That's so funny. Yay! I always miss your podcast, but not this time. Good. I'm glad. I wonder, probably because American Horror Story. I bet you were watching American Horror Story because that one all of a sudden came on and took my glory of awesomeness. But whatever. I still do it. Whatever. So I'm glad you made it. Chicken wing surprise party. Gutaways, very beautiful. Thank you. Guac, G-Wack. I don't know why I pronounced it guac. I'm pretty sure it's G-Wack. A sexy, thank you. Gutaways, too sexy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I blush every time people give me compliments. If y'all ever gave me compliments in real life, like literally you're right here and you're saying I'm sexy, I'd be like, thanks. Hide my face. I'm too shy. And then I already mentioned about the big announcement. I'm about to say it in 2 seconds or a minute. Your swore pay $1. You swore? Tagman, Shima is flaunting her chesticles tonight. Yes, girl, work it. I know. I actually got this dress at a Goodwill. I actually did a lot of shopping, like, not for Black Friday. I didn't go shopping on Black Friday. A week, 2 weeks ago. And so, if you don't know me, I get all my clothes from Goodwill. Like, every single one of my outfits are pretty much from Goodwill. So, this dress is from Goodwill. I don't want to get up because I'm also wearing, like, what is it called? Sweatpants under my dress because it's cold. So, you can't see me from the waist down. So, I don't really do anything much with my legs after that point. So yeah, I just decided to wear this dress. Yeah, no reason. And then I did red lips. I never do red lips. I never do lips at all. I hate things on my lips. Like, I hate chapstick. I just don't like it. I don't know, like Francis has chapstick and I give him a kiss. I'm like, oh my god, chapstick's so gross. But I know it's good because especially if you go into cold climates and your lips get chappy, I understand the benefits of them. It feels like though my lips still get chappier when I wear, if that's even a word, even when I wear chapstick because the past actually week when it was cold in Sarasota, I put chapstick on and it would feel nice for the first like hour, I guess. And then after the hour, my lip skin started to peel, and I hate that because I'm the one that like will also like start biting my lips. Okay, this is TMI, but I mean, I'll start peeling my lip skin and stuff like that, and like have just yeah, I can't do chapstick. And lip gloss and lipstick. This one's fine. It's not like it's not well. It's not like moist lipstick. It's kind of dryish, so it's not like something weird on my mouth. I don't even recognize it anymore. Okay, Jesus Lord, I've never had so many. Okay, can I come hang out? Yeah, if you want. I'm not honestly that much interesting in person. Like I literally just go and watch TV and do Reddit all day and work. I mean, I do work. I did a poster today, so I mean, it's work. And I emailed. Yeah, I did. I got a lot of work done today, actually. That was a surprise for me. Uh, are you signed to an agency or do you do bookings yourself? I do it all myself. You message me, you email me, you talk to me. You don't talk to nobody else. Yeah, it's not that I don't want one. It's just I really haven't found one that I would want to join or be a part of or whatever the lingo is for that. But also, I actually do enjoy doing everything myself because it allows me to have so much more control of what photo shoots I'm doing and who's the photographer that I'm talking to or the model that I'm talking to and all this stuff that goes down behind the scenes that allows me to be so much more involved in comparison to having an agency handle all of that. I'm able to do it myself. So it's a very good business for me to learn from doing it myself than, having somebody else that I don't know take the reins. So yes, no agency, fully independent by myself. So you talk to me all the time. Just me. Maybe you might talk to Francis. Francis actually has answered a few Tumblr questions before because he gets a kick out of that. Like, seriously, no joke. And it's funny, the ones that he comments on or answers, he actually gets more notes than if I went and did a reply. I get like one note. He'll get like 12, 15 million people like note it. And I'm like, seriously? He has always the right things to say. I'm never like that, but whatever. Um, lost. Nice watch. Watch. Oh, my, when I was pointing my finger? Yeah, I know. Hell no. They better find a box to squat. Oh, sorry. Tackman says, hell no. They better find a box to squat in. If they knew this, they should have planned with family or friends or something. See, I agree. I'm not like mean to say it in their face. But yeah, I thought the exact same. So luckily, I mean, we just decided, and it would have been awkward too. For people living, like staying in our house for a few days that we barely really even know that didn't yeah it would have been awkward. It's different from couch surfing's a whole different ballpark, but yeah, it would have been really weird. Alejandro, I helped the homeless several times. The funny moment was when I gave food to a lady and she wouldn't take it because it wasn't kosher. I mean, isn't yeah, kosher is a religion situation, right? And like, right, correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of guess under I understand like this much, I guess. But yeah, if you have no money for food, I'm pretty sure health is more important than religion and stuff like that. Like honestly, no joke. If me and Francis have like we're pretty low on our budgets and stuff like that, I'm not kidding. I will go peanut butter jelly for an entire week. Carbs, bread, like anything that's cheap and will last us. So eggs, bread, peanut butter and jelly, and milk and cheapo cereal. Like we and rice. We will last that for 2 weeks if needed. And so I'm trying to better my health and work out and eat better. But when you have no money, that kind of goes out the door for a little bit because you're in survival mode. You need to make sure you're at least getting food in your system and not starving to death. So honestly, I love carbs, so I'm not complaining about eating peanut butter jelly sandwich all day, every day long, but realistically, I would rather be eating something more healthier than that. So it's a different story. So yeah, you shouldn't be picky when you don't have, especially if people's giving you something. Yeah, definitely don't want to be picky. Like if you're giving me something for free, you're offering to buy me food, I am not gonna argue with what you're giving me. I will eat it. If I hate it, I will throw up 5 minutes later. But otherwise, I will eat it in front of you and pretend that I enjoy it if I hate it so much. But I rarely ever hate anything when it comes to food. Okay, y'all are going crazy. I can't even get to my big announcement. I'm gonna have to like pause after this. Do you like P&D? I don't know what P&D is. I feel like I don't know anything. So please explain what P&D is. Some people can't be helped. Some people can't. And it was funny, actually. It's not funny. But when I was driving back here after I took her to Ace Hardware, I mentioned to her, oh, you're fortunate that me and Francis, or I didn't really say fortunate, but, I was like, but, it's great that me and Francis are able to help you with this moving because I've had times when I have to move and nobody's willing to help at all, like my family sometimes. But, it doesn't matter. But then when I said that, she's like, yeah, I appreciate you and Francis helping out with the neighbors on their side. Was apparently was when they got the U-Haul and they started doing their thing. She saw them standing there at, on their fence, just watching them. And she's just like, you would have thought that they would come help or offer their help and all this other stuff. But she's like, but some people have their obligations and things like that. And I'm like, it's not their issue to help you. Like if you're not gonna ask them, they're not gonna help. If I was sitting around doing something in my yard and I see you moving, I'm not gonna offer to help unless I literally see you struggling. But otherwise, like I'm not going to just randomly out of the blue offer you, especially if I barely know you. So in my head, I'm like, that's not like don't be pointing fingers at them. They're doing their thing. Don't leave them alone. So I just thought that was like, all right, yeah, okay. um, okay, y'all are crazy. I don't even know where to begin. Getaways, help the ones who at least try to help themselves. Exactly, and that's what Francis and Andy said too. You can help the ones that seem like they're actually helping themselves, but for them waiting a whole month to the last minute to help themselves is kind of stretching it. Like that's just a little bit too close to too late, pretty much. Getaways, I'm from Sarasota. What up? You're gonna love this big announcement thing. Getaways? No, I'm just kidding. You're probably gonna hate it, actually. Alright. Pause with the people talking real fast. I will get with the big announcement. I already kind of like said it quickly. Not really, but drumroll, please. I quit modeling. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I was trying to say that with a straight face. I don't know if I survived, like, won that one, but no, I'm kidding. I'm not quitting. That was a joke. So please don't record me saying that and like have me on repeat for saying I quit modeling and then have it like a freaking what do you call it? Fib, whatever you call it when you were in school. I can't even remember right now. But okay, sorry. Real drum roll now. So, me and Francis are not getting married. Just throw that one out there. That's not happening anytime soon. But we are moving. Yeah. And we actually are moving out of state. Yeah, so no more Florida for me, everyone. That's a sad-ish story. Not really. I never really cared for Florida, honestly. I really didn't. I still don't really at all. But out of all the places that we chose to move, I want to know. Sorry, I'm reading all the else. give me a guess for y'all that really actually pay attention to me and, follow my work. And even the ones that are like freaking brand new. You just showed up to this Ustream randomly and you just are listening because my boobs are out or just out of curiosity. But just guess out of any city, state, town, country that you can think of that you think me and Francis are moving to. And I'm going to wait 3 minutes and I'm going to go and keep reading your comments from earlier. Booking email. Yeah, if you seriously are interested in booking me, email me. My email is now on my Instagram. You can find it on my Tumblr. You can find it on my Facebook. You can find it on my Twitter. I am easily I'm easily manager no, easily I can get it easy. I'm easily gonna. I can't speak. What am I trying to say? Get a hold. Yeah, okay, just you can get a hold of me easily. I don't know why I spent 5 minutes just trying to say that. So yeah, seriously, except for through the phone. Obviously, through this phone, I'm apparently not easy to get a hold of. But through email, you just email me if you're interested in booking me for anything. Just mention it to me, give me the description about it, any things you know about it, give it to me and then I'll talk to you through it and all that other stuff. I would help them with money but not house them. Yeah. But unfortunately, me and Francis don't have money because Andy was like thinking, well, maybe we can just give them a couple dollars for a hotel. And me and Francis look at each other and we're like, yeah, we just paid rent. We can't. We have no money right now, so we can't. Like I told him, I'm like, I had $3.94 in my card, so and I went straight to gas. So technically, no, yeah, we don't have anything. Not to have a pity party. I mean, me and Francis are doing nicely well. We're obviously moving, so we're doing well. So don't have a pity party for me. We've been struggling for a while and we've managed to stay alive with a crazy psycho dog. So, we're doing pretty well in comparison to a lot of people. Okay, sorry. All right. So let me skip these. I'm gonna come back to the older comments, but that was not funny from Infinite Waves. Yeah, I'm sorry. Intactman. Oh my God, I just died when you said you quit. Shima, not funny. I know. I'm so sorry. So we got Los Angeles, New York City, Texas, Austin, Texas. Okay, I'm already gonna give it to y'all. I'm sorry. I'm not moving back to Austin anytime soon. I just was there 2 years ago. I'm not going back anytime soon. Only to visit maybe because my mom, my sister, and my aunt still live there. But realistically, I'm not going back anytime soon. Corpus Christi. Tagman, seriously, out of all of Texas's cities, you pick Corpus Christi. I'm hoping you live there. That's the only reason why you'd throw that one in there, but no, I will never move to Corpus Christi. I will never move to Corpus Christi. So I don't know why I thought that was so funny, but it's so funny. I can't. Something in Texas, maybe. Oregon? No. I don't even know how to pronounce that state properly. Oregon? Or is it Oregon or Oregon? That's like Kansas or Kansas. So I don't know who would say that. New York and Texas, Chicago, LA. Getaways, I'll link everything on my Facebook and email and stuff like that. Here, I'll type it real fast. Gmail.com. There's my email. Sorry, I was trying to make sure I get that done. Seattle, no. Unfortunately, all y'all are super wrong. None of y'all are anywhere close, actually. The closest, the closest actually might be even New York, but that's still not even that close, honestly. That's a good 4 hours drive. London, that would be badass. But no, unfortunately, no, it's not London, and unfortunately, it's not out of the United States. You know how bad I want to move out of the United States? Super bad. But it's not there yet. I haven't even visited out of the United States. Well, Dominican Republic and Mexico. That was it. Bam, bam. Intercourse, Pennsylvania. I'm gonna be seriously, and I'm pretty sure that's an actual town, but that's pretty fudging funny. Boston, no. Atlanta, no. Okay, here's a bigger hint. I'm gonna see if somebody will guess it, just because it's just so random of a place. Well, if you knew the history behind me and Francis, not really, but me and Francis, you kind of might, it's not that random. But for ones that don't know really much about me and him, then it's pretty random. But okay, it's a bigger city, but it used to be really big. Now it's not big anymore. Ha, ha, ah, ah. Is that a good hint? I feel like that's like right, like a nail right there. Like that's the hugest hint I can feel like giving without giving any more hints. Please be Michigan. MI stands for Michigan, right? Uh, Colorado, Ohio, Detroit, Washington, D.C., Miami. I'm moving out of Florida. I am vocabulary. I'm going to, and I can't afford to live in Miami. That's too expensive. So I'm getting a kick out of this. I really don't know why, but it's just too funny. All right, I feel like y'all have guessed a lot. And actually, out of everyone that has said something, it's actually Derek Tsunami. That is right. Me and Francis are moving to Michigan, Detroit. Michigan, Detroit. Detroit, Michigan. So, apparently the glove. I don't know any of this. So this is gonna be fun for me. Yeah. So, okay, that was funny. Sorry, hold on. I need to calm down with that moment of joy right there. So yeah, seriously, no, not kidding. Me and Francis are moving to Detroit. Why I said it's random? Yes, it's random. Like out of all fucking cities in the entire United States, it's Detroit. But it's not random because Francis is from Detroit. He's born, well, no, he's not born from Detroit, but he's raised Detroit. 8 Mile, Groesbeck. If you know Detroit, you know that's the Detroit apparently. But yeah, so now time for the time where we actually are moving. We're planning on moving. Me and Francis, we do this thing where when we decide we need to move somewhere, we do it like within a month's time, with a month's notice. When we were living in Austin and we decided we were going to move to Sarasota, we pretty much knew within like 2 months in advance that we were moving and we had to get on the bandwagon, start packing our stuff, and pretty much get out. Same thing with here. We have until the end of this year to move to Detroit. We're not getting kicked out or anything. It's just Francis got a job opportunity. Yay! And with my job being a model, I can literally live anywhere. So I'm doing this for him, and I feel like it would be nice of a change. I like to travel constantly, so I don't like staying in one place for very long. And I never really cared for Florida, so now I'm giving Michigan a try. Sorry, I'm just thinking of my future right now. So yeah, he actually got a job opportunity to be a full-time teacher at Creative, wait, college, wait, College of Creative Studies in Detroit, Michigan. And he will be one of the illustration teachers. I don't know. He's best to talk to about it because he tells me, but I'm like fully not sure. Neither is he. But yeah, so he got the job opportunity, and they are moving us there. Unfortunately, we have a budget, which is a good amount of budget, but I mean it makes sense though, but they're not giving us a check for that yet. We have to show them receipts. So we're like, damn it, we have to find a way to get that much money to get us to Detroit because we don't have that money. So this is gonna be a fun fucking adventure. But yeah. And then on top of it, me being from Austin, Texas, and then me moving to Sarasota, I have never lived in snow. Never. I've never I've never lived in snow for a week. I've been to New York countless times and I've been to Detroit a couple times. And it snowed, but I've only been in it for like a day. So this is going to be fun. And y'all are going to join me with this journey, this adventure, because I'm going to try to have either my phone do it or try somehow to have my laptop do it, to have this adventure. So y'all are gonna see every moment of it. No, I don't know. I'm just thinking that might be an episode, but I don't know yet. But yeah. So welcome Detroit. Me and Francis are gonna be up in that bitch. Sorry, I just think it's so funny. Laugh loud. Oh man, Detroit, cool. I mean, it's not that be here though. Well, weather-wise, it's difficult, but laugh aloud. Okay, I mean, it's not that bad here though. Well, weather-wise, it's difficult, but laugh out loud. Um, Unfortunately, the censored TVH 1981 is off, so try maybe the alternative. I don't know how to fix censored on Ustream. Um, Kyle, it actually hasn't snowed yet, but in due time. See, okay, so a lot of snowbirds come to Florida, and so a lot of them are telling me about like the weather is crazy now, especially with the polar vortex. Learn something. But it's getting a lot colder than it's supposed to be at this time. So, like I said, we're planning on moving out the end of this year, the beginning of next year, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, I'm not sure fully, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fucking cold and it may be snowing when we're moving. So that doesn't sound pleasant at all. So we're thinking about hiring movers somehow, like getting a credit card just to pay off this, the budget off instantly and then finally get reimbursed for it. But we're thinking about just hiring movers because it might just be the easier route. I am the one where I mentioned about our neighbors. I'm gonna pretty much throw all my shit away. Like, I don't want to deal with it. I told Francis my idea is if it doesn't break down, so if it doesn't get into a smaller piece, we're throwing it away. There's no point in having it. Seriously, we can buy a new one, especially furniture. Our furniture here, we didn't really like go with an idea of interior designing. We just basically bought stuff from the thrift store because we needed stuff, and then that was pretty much it. So nothing really matches. Like, this table's a dark, like, golden brown, and then my sewing table is all white, and then this other table that I have is my sewing table is like this cream colored wood color. Like, and then like just nothing in this house matches. So I want our Detroit place to have more of a theme going on. Hopefully, I pray, cause yeah. um, it's gonna. Thanks, Gutaways. It's gonna suck. Cold is not what it is. Thank you, though, Gutaways. Hope you guys may have a safe journey. Thank you so much. I hope we have a safe journey. We've done research on, I mean, he's from Detroit, Michigan, but honestly, he's told me he's never really branched outside of his, like, area that he grew up in, so he's never really went to even the downtown Detroit growing up. In my head, I'm like, what? I know growing up in Austin, it was, like, a main thing to do is go to downtown Austin. So we actually we're doing research in housing in the area that we're interested in, living in and all this other stuff. And the Detroit, like, downtown area, that area is nice. Like, they are doing so much to that area that it's just like pretty much it can be considerable to like Chicago and stuff like. Well, I don't know if I'm using a good example, but it's a pretty nice area. But the surrounding Detroit neighborhoods, other than Grosse Pointe, which Grosse Pointe is the richer area, other area neighborhoods other than that surrounding the area, the downtown area, those are the shitty ones. Those are the ones that aren't doing too hot. So, and his parents live, again, his parents live off 8 Mile. So, the 8 Mile. So his parents live 2 houses down from completely vacant and abandoned lots and all this other stuff. So it's seriously crazy. Going there, because when I would first hear stories when I was living in Austin before I went to Detroit, I would always hear from society and friends and things like that about Detroit, and how dangerous it is and crime filled and all this other craziness. So I would get worked up like thinking about it, and then you actually get yourself into it and you go to his parents' house and you're like, damn, like it is exactly what the photos show. It's just like not really an apocalypse. It just has this different feeling to it. Like, it doesn't feel cheerful. Like sunshine and like green grass and stuff like that. It feels downright not dirty, but just pretty much in the slumps. Like, it's pretty hell on wheels pretty much. And it's just crazy. Like driving on 8 Mile, and it's also crazy. You drive on 8 Mile, and I'm trying to remember, but I have to get to know this stuff soon. But you drive on 8 Mile, and at a certain point, 8 Mile turns into Bernier or something like that, some other street name. And as soon as it turns into that, that's where the rich houses turn into, and that's where Grosse Pointe is. So it's crazy. You'll go from 8 Mile, which is just shitty, shitty, shitty. Warren's on the other side, and then the Detroit area is on the other side. And then you get in, and then you cross the highway, and then it turns into another street. Like, it's just another street name. It doesn't veer anywhere, just turns into another street name. And it's the nice, fancy, rich houses right off the water. You got the yacht club, all this other crazy stuff. So it's really crazy. But I've talked to a few people from Detroit, like photographers, and just getting a general idea of the atmosphere with modeling and stuff. Because in Sarasota, it's small. Like, there's nothing here. There's only Tampa and Orlando and definitely Miami that I get any work, really, honestly. So moving to Detroit, it's a lot bigger city, but there's not a lot of people because everyone moved and left and, got evicted and all that other crazy shit. But so I asked a few people, their thoughts about it and all this other stuff, and they shared their interesting facts and fictions and whatever they wanted to share. But also on top of it, Chicago is not too far. It's, I've driven from Chicago to Detroit last year, so that's what I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, like 5-6 hours away. No, yeah, it's like 5. Yeah, it's like 5. No, it's like 4 to 5 hours. I don't remember, but it's not too far. And then on top of it, New York and all the East Coast areas are not a bad drive away. I do believe New York's like 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours from Detroit. I don't remember. Canada's on the other side, so my goal after I move is to go to Canada, get my fudging passport. Like, I have my passport here, but it's expired. You want to see something funny? This is another embarrassing thing, but you want to see what I used to look like? God, I look so ugly. This is embarrassing. I'm just gonna do embarrassing things with it. Okay, so this is gonna probably change your judgment towards me, but this is what I used to look like in 2008. 2008. I don't know how old I was. I don't feel like doing the math, so you can do the math if you want, but that's what I look like. Man, I look like a chunky monkey. Seriously, what the fudge? Can't give a good, like, trying to give like a good, nice view of it, but yeah, it's can't tell now. It's all reflective, but yeah, that's what I used to look like. It's so funny, but it expired. It actually expired last year. So once I get my passport updated, I will totally go to Canada. So hey, this is an announcement for all of y'all. Also, I mean, if you live in Chicago, Michigan, Canada, East Coast, anywhere, Toledo, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, anywhere in that area, feel free to hit me up. I am serious going to be conquering Michigan. Bam. I don't think I conquered Florida. Every time I move somewhere or about to move somewhere, I have this goal of conquering it. So, like, before I left Texas, I'm like, all right, I'm going to be the model in Austin and, like, all this crazy shit. Don't think I really hit that really hard enough. Don't think so at all. Then I moved to Florida, and right before I moved to Florida, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to conquer Miami, Tampa, Orlando. Like, awesome. I'm going to get it. Don't think I did that really well. But this time I'm going to conquer you, Michigan. Get you right where it hurts. So yeah, yay. That was the big news. Not that crazy, but, whatevs. If y'all want to give me advice about winter too as well, I don't know how to drive in snow. I read a post on Reddit that a person said, don't know how to drive in snow or ice, go find an abandoned parking lot and that is snow and iced out and do it like you're trying, learning your driver's license type situation. Do a few turns and learn how to park and do all that stuff again because you're pretty much going to save your life if you at least get to know how ice and snows work with your tires. I don't know any shit about that. Like, I know hydroplane, and I don't want to be a part of that. So, I really just probably don't want to drive at all. And apparently, like, because we were looking at like, lofts and apartments and housing. I would like a house, because for Akira's sake, I want her to have a backyard. But it just depends because we also want something close to CCS, which is the College for Creative Studies. So Francis could walk since we technically only have one car at the moment. But apparently they should be good. The Detroit area should be good at salting the roads down. But in my head, I'm like, I also, if we do live in a house, I ain't snowing that shit. I'm sorry. I'm not snowing out of my house. Francis, you can do it, but I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. I probably will have to, but and then on top of it, I have to wear like it was the other day or like a month or not even a few weeks ago we, Francis and Andy, went out and it was, I think, like in the 60s outside. And granted, I wasn't prepared for the cold. Like, I was wearing just like a basic t shirt with a leather jacket and leggings and boots. That's it. But I was like, holy shit, it's fucking freezing and it's only like 60 something. And Francis is giving me a look like, so you are aware that you are moving to the north, that it's going to be a lot fucking colder than 60 degrees, right? And I'm like, actually, it wasn't 60, it was 50s. But anyways, I was like, yeah, you're right, fuck, I'm screwed. And I was like, started to panic. I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like, seriously, I've only been to New York. Like, I always go to New York when it's winter time, but I've only been to New York for a few days when it's like that cold where I had to bundle completely up. I've never lived there, like, in a situation like that before. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I don't want to leave my house. Like, I would probably want to just make snowmans for the first day. And then I'm like, all right, seriously, no. Like, it's snowing, so you're trailing in water, right? When you walk into the door. So you have to have, like, what, a dry mat to, like, put your boots and shit? Like, I seriously feel like I'm like an idiot talking about this, but seriously, growing up in Austin, there was no snow. It would maybe one day, but by the time the morning hit, it already melted because the sun got to it. So we never really actually had snow for more than a few hours at a time. Fucking Sarasota, I haven't even seen it for living in the past 2 years, so I don't even know what snow looks like anymore. And I'm just kidding. I do, but I seriously am going to be completely out of my element, and y'all are going to be taking that journey with me. I will be recording my podcast and stuff like that, and I'll probably be coming and having episodes just talking about the snow and whatever else might go on. But man, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting too when Akira goes outside in the snow. That will be a fun experience. I'm probably gonna be those people that put her in a sweater. This is gonna be so fun. Oh, so fun. So fun. Okay, get a jacket from Detroit. Yeah, I tried getting jackets. Me and Francis been trying to get like jackets here and there from Sarasota, the Goodwills and stuff, but I mean, like I have a good amount. Actually, this whole entire closet right here is filled with jackets and coats. But they're not like, I have like only one or two that are thick enough to like be something like warm enough. Everything, all the other stuff is like jackets that are like, for cold weather in Sarasota. So, ooh, this is gonna be fun. I don't have boots. I mean, I do, but I don't really have good boots. Pants, holy shit, I don't even know where to begin with that. Like, there's thermals. So I have to put thermals under my pants, but my pants have to be thick or like loose enough that they can wear thermals under them. Like, they can't be the tight leggings and stuff. This is gonna be fun. Oh, this is so crazy. Yeah. I'm just thinking all about it. Use winter tires during the winter. Okay, so that's something we definitely got to make sure we do. I'm sure Francis should know that, but winter tires. I guess it has a thicker tread. I would assume. Get a remote start so you can warm your car without being stolen. Francis' car actually did have the option when his clicker worked, but his clicker doesn't work anymore. It hasn't for like 5 years. No, it hasn't worked for like 3 years. But one thing I do like about Francis's car is he has leather seats. So he has the seat warmers. That's always nice in the winter. But when it's summertime, leather seats fucking suck for girls because it burns your fucking legs off when you're wearing skirts or dresses or shorts. Oh, I hated it. But this is a perfect chance for his butt warmers on his car. Oh, it's gonna be fun. So yeah, we'll definitely look into the remote start for his car. Though that sounds like a glorious thing. Sounds like so technology too on top of it. Oh my gosh, you don't understand. It's cold as fuck. Yeah, I don't understand. I really don't. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. What's okay? Let me check the weather real fast. Ignore me and my looking. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Of course, Detroit's like, it is currently 28 degrees outside. Doesn't look like it's going to snow this week in Detroit, but it's 28 right now in Detroit, and it's 66 degrees in Sarasota. That's going to be nice. Oh my god, this is going to be so fun. I don't think Michigan uses salt. My mom gambles at the Four Winds Casino in Michigan, and they usually use sand on the ice. Yeah, I wouldn't know, actually, honestly. I just think it's salt, but I don't. It probably is sand. I have no idea. Shoot. I just know salt melts ice, but that's all I really do, actually. That's all I know. And if you put salt and ice, know this tidbit. This is something from my past. So I had this crazy girl. Okay, after this, I'm like, okay, sorry, this is just a random topic, but or story, but there was this crazy girl in my grade school and middle school, and for whatever reason, she came to my house. So it was like my friends and then her and one of her close friends. I don't know why that happened. I really don't. But she's like, "Oh, you want to see a trick?" And I'm like, "Sure." And she was kind of like suspicious. Like she was the kind of girl like you're like, I shouldn't trust you at all. Like at all. You're bad. But she's like, yeah, let me, I'll show you a trick. This is a really cool trick. Let me see your arm. So she grabs my arm. Yeah, it was this arm. And she gets salt and puts salt on my arm. And then she gets an ice cube and holds the ice cube on top of the salt on top of my arm. And she starts holding it for a second. She's like, do you feel anything? And at first I'm like, no. And then all of a sudden it started fucking burning. Like, no joke. Just burnt like hell. And I started screaming and she wouldn't let go of my arm. She was a horrible child. But she finally let go, and when she did, it literally looked like it ate my entire skin, like I was missing a huge, like it wasn't bloody or anything, but it just looked like my skin just melted pretty much. And in my head I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And so I literally poured it underwater and like waited, and it went back to normal, but for a long time I had this huge circle scar on my wrist from that day, and that was when I learned what ice and salt do together. It was not cool at all. Sorry, random story. Um uh Get a down full length coat and invest in thermal underwear. Yeah, that's what Francis told me. They had thermal actually in the Goodwill in Sarasota, but when I was looking at it, I'm like, I don't need this right now, so I didn't buy it. But see, this is my sweatpants, so like, I ain't doing anything fancy. Sorry, I just will have to show you. I got this coat last year because I was an idiot and didn't think it was gonna be cold when I went on my trip to Chicago and stuff. So I found this one actually at a thrift store. It worked out that it fit me perfectly, but this is one of my only coats that's a full length coat that I got going on. So I need more of this. This is pretty heavy though, but it's not that heavy. So I mean, I wore it when I was in New York last year actually, and it kept me warm, but not too crazy. Kyle, we do use salt, FYI. Yeah, I feel like different states and cities might not, and might and might not, but yeah. So we will see what Detroit uses. Kyle, do you live in Detroit or just Michigan in general? Butt warmers. There are butt warmers. I love them so much. They warm my butt. Stay in Miami, hot all year round. Yeah, but I honestly hate the heat. I hated the heat in Texas, and I hate the humidity heat in Florida. So Francis is like, yeah, but you're gonna hate the winter too. And I'm like, yeah, but at least I get to try something new. Like, I've always been around heat my entire life, and it's not fun. I fucking hate sweating. I really do. It's really not cool. So, and I like being able to bundle up more than, I don't know. I'm just weird. But anyways, so I need to get away from the heat. The perfect place would be Los Angeles or San Diego or San Francisco, but one day. That was actually, we were supposed to move to LA instead of Detroit this year because it was always just said that we'd live in Sarasota for 2 years, and our 2 years is almost up. So we were actually going to live in LA, but he got an offer for Detroit, and financially that would be the best decision. It would help him, pay his bills and loans that he has going on, as well as allow me to, get to New York easily and things like that, in Chicago. And if we moved to LA, we'd be in a worse situation than we are now. Like, still fighting to pay rent on time and all that crazy stuff. And we wanted a time, because we planned to stay in Detroit for possibly 2 years. So we wanted, a 2 year break of being poor. We wanted to be living nicely ish. Like, we won't be rich, but we'll be living nicely ish. So, we've been hustling quite some time now, and it's fun, but it's really stressful when you don't know if you're gonna pay your bills and things like that. So we're happy for this, honestly. This is gonna be a nice change. It's gonna be different. And I might complain a few times out of the year, but it's gonna be a nice change. Um, this week, this week's been really nice. Laugh aloud. Pretty much, I reside in Sterling Heights, not too far off. I've heard of that before. Sterling Heights. Francis probably knows a lot more than I do. I will eventually know Michigan's map. I know Florida's map now. Francis doesn't at all. He doesn't study at all. But I definitely know Florida's map. I know Texas' map. So now I will have to learn. I know there's Kalamazoo. Can't remember what the capital of Michigan is. Is it Lansing? No, it's not Lansing. Yeah, it's Lansing, right? Lansing, Michigan is the capital, right? And then that's all I know. There's Detroit, Kalamazoo, and Lansing. Trying to think. Yeah, that's all I know right now. So eventually we'll learn everything else. You may be cold, but everyone who gets to see you will be pretty warm with all that hotness you got going on. Hashtag cheesy lines. Yeah, Tech Man, that was pretty fucking cheesy. Oh, so fucking funny. That was hilarious. Oh, God, sorry. Oh, that was too funny. All right. My throat's already starting to dry off, as you could probably tell. My voice is like cracking and stuff. But on top of it, I actually got to wake up pretty early tomorrow. So this episode's not going to be long. And yeah, but I'm going to read these last things, and then I'll wrap it up with something. And then, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. I just did that. I missed that. What happened? She stood up. Oh, damn it. Okay, so I am vocabulary, or anyone else that missed it. I stupidly hate those ads that you see. I don't notice it because it doesn't happen to my screen, like what I see here, but it happens to y'all, and I feel so bad. So when we move to Detroit, I will have enough money, probably $4 a month, to spend to get the ads away. So wait, I promise you, you will not have that issue. But basically, I just showed a full-length coat that I had, and I got it at Goodwill. So it wasn't anything interesting. I just stood up. Just, stating the obvious. You will need a heavier coat for storms. What kind of storms? What storms are you talking about? Like blizzards? Like what happened to Buffalo, New York? That happens? Oh, God. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready. I wasn't even really Fortunately for me, I was never stuck in a hurricane in Florida. I even forgot that hurricanes exist for a while when I first moved until Francis was like, "Oh yeah, we're in a tropical storm right now." And I'm like, "Oh man, I forgot about tropical storms and hurricanes. Holy shit." So, it is rainy in Florida though, I'm not gonna lie for that. So, blizzards, fuck. What am I gonna do with blizzards? What do you do? What do you do? Like, shoot. Because I know Buffalo, New York recently had a crazy fucking winter storm happen. And a lot of them, like, were out of electricity and, like, were locked into their houses because the snow was so crazy. But, like, what do you do? Like, seriously, what do you do? I like seasons, Miss Autumn. See, and that's what I'm also excited about, seeing the seasons too. Because when I did my trip last year, when I was driving all around the well, all around the northeast area, I enjoyed actually seeing the seasons and the leaves and all that other stuff. That was really nice. But here, I mean, you see palm trees, and those don't change colors unless they're dying. Um, Yep, it's for us to pay, not you, dear. Laugh aloud. Wait, no, you don't pay for Snap. You have to pay for the ads? Seriously? That's weird. I'm pretty sure you pay. I have to pay. You don't pay. That doesn't sound right. Yes, no ads. I know. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all have been toughing it through for these past 20 episodes, so I'm so sorry that you have to go through it. If you just watch YouTube, you don't have to watch the ads. But if you're live, yeah, you have to watch the ads, unfortunately, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I am seriously sorry. I'll get it taken care of. I promise. When I have money and I could afford $4 because I think it's $4. Um, and in January and February, temps have been known to go below zero. Stop. Okay, just no, no more, no more. This is gonna be crazy. Y'all are gonna seriously witness this happen. So this is Shima, warm Florida weather, humid, but you know this is me now. Fast forward 3 months from now, we'll see what I'm like. I might be a badass. I might have like icicles on my eyebrows and shit, looking like a badass and shit. Um. We were that bad. Ours were brief, but the winter's coming. Oh God, winter's coming. We have to pay for the random ads not show up. Really? Seriously? Alejandro, you would have to give me $4 a month, though. But that would be good for 4 episodes, actually, though. So that's actually not that bad. So 4 episodes without ads, that sounds pretty nice. It's like a nice little break. But no, I don't want y'all's money. You know, if you want to give me something, wait until I move and then you can send me housewarming gifts. That would be awesome. Or send me coats and boots because I know I'm probably going to need it now. Enjoy your first taste of frostbite. Dewan, stop it. Stop it. Bad Dewan. Now you're scaring me. Frostbite, I don't want that either. How do you... Yeah, you prevent frostbite for just not being in the snow. Or the cold and wearing so much layers that the cold doesn't touch your body at all. Right? That's what I've learned, at least. When I think of frostbite, though, I think of Mr. Deeds. If you've seen that movie, you will understand me. If you haven't, then you need to go watch that movie. All right, everyone. I enjoyed this conversation. This is actually the most people that has been signed on to my live chat since I had my first episode, which is ridiculously funny to me. So the ones that are new and they just randomly showed up and whatever, and you actually stuck through this entire thing, I applaud you. This actually was not that bad in comparison to the ones that have lasted like 2.5 hours. That's pretty crazy. But I do appreciate the new ones that have never witnessed me talk before. So thank you for joining. And I do this every Wednesday. So, you know, it doesn't get old or tiring or boring because I typically have special guests come in, but I'm having technical difficulties with my computer, which I still haven't figured it out. So when I finally am able to handle that situation, I will bring on my special guests. I already have like a list that I know who's going to show up and stuff, but I need to have this situation taken care of before I can have that happen, because we're not going to have a Jordan Bunny repeat. No, I'm not going to do that. So, yeah. So, basically, yeah, that was the end of the big news. And, that's my life for today. And I will keep all posted with everything that goes on. As well as if you are in Miami and if you're in Florida, this is seriously, December is your last month to book something with me. Probably after the 27th, it's too late. I'm not going to shoot until I get to Detroit. So, if you're in Miami, go to that workshop on the 13th. If you don't want to go to the workshop, book me during that day. If you don't want to do that, then your luck. And if you live in Tampa or Orlando, I do plan to be in those two cities as well before I leave. So just keep an eye out, and if you don't see me post anything, feel free to email me whenever. I seriously will respond, or if I won't respond, then it might just because you're weird. No, I'm just kidding. It just might have some other reasons to it. But seriously, Floridians, this is your last chance with L.Shima. So, because I don't think I really will be back unless somebody literally pays me to fly back to Florida. That's the only reason I can see myself back here. Oh, well, I'm an idiot. I have my brother living here now, so he actually will be the only exception. So Tampa, I will probably be all up in you one day in the future, but not anytime soon. So, all right, everyone. My throat. I like it's not. That's not sexy, but whatever. I had to do it. All right, everyone, and that is the end of episode 20. So I will see y'all next week, and I hope y'all stay warm in the northern parts, aka Kyle and everyone else that lives crazy in the blizzards, the blizzard state. And I hope everyone has a superb night, day, morning, whatever time you're watching this at whatever location you're at. But just remember, be cool, be nice, be awesome. Don't be needy. Don't be like my neighbor. And also, but do give. Help out when people need a helping hand. Don't, use those people that are willing to help you. And, just be yourself. Be nice. Be awesome. Be cool. So, good night, everyone. And I'll see you next week. Couldn't breathe for a second. Okay.